Atlanta thought it had seen it all. But the night Tasha K finally decided to stop teasing and actually drop what was inside that infamous flash drive, the city realized it had only been watching the pre-show. For weeks, people had been clowning her, saying she was all bark and no bite, waving a flash drive around like a prop, just to stir chaos. But when she went live and said the words, "Y'all want the real story? Baby, it's on this drive," the energy shifted, thousands flooded her stream, bloggers scrambled to screen record, and within minutes, hashtags started trending. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was receipts with timestamps, voices, and names attached. And the first voice that came through those speakers, Rasheeda. The voice notes started faint, the crackle of background noise, then clear as day. Rasheeda, toned sharp and tired. "I'm not about to let Yandi rewrite the story. Jasmine, if this comes up again, you better keep it low because I'm not losing everything just to entertain fans. Kirk can't survive another scandal. Do you understand me?" The streets went wild. The live chat blew up with fire emojis and clown faces. Fans screamed, so it was about Kirk all along. The betrayal wasn't just in the words, it was in the tone. Calculated, cornered, desperate. Yandi, who had stayed quiet throughout Rasheeda lawsuit, suddenly looked like the one telling the truth all along. Bloggers clipped the audio and replayed it on loop, each time adding captions, each time reminding everyone that Rasheeda's entire case was supposed to be about defamation. Yet here she was on tape admitting it was strategy. But Tasha K wasn't finished. She smirked into the camera, adjusting her wig, leaning forward with the drama of someone who knew she had the city by the throat. "That was just the warm-up," she said. Then came the DMs. Screenshots filled the stream showing Rasheeda allegedly begging different cast members not to side with Yandi. One message to Sierra read, "If you ride with me, I'll make sure your name never comes up when the blogs start digging." Another to Spice, "You know how messy this can get. Keep it neutral or we all lose." Fans instantly branded Rasheeda as a manipulator, someone not fighting for truth, but for control. Memes popped up within seconds. Pressed boutique logos slapped over a Monopoly board with the caption, "Control the streets, collect no credibility." TikToks stitched with the DMS were everywhere. Sis wasn't suing for defamation, she was suing for survival. By the time the live hit 50,000 viewers, Yandi posted a single cryptic caption on Instagram, "Truth don't need a lawyer." No selfies, no filter, no rant, just a black screen with those words. It was all she needed. Fans crowned her the queen of calm again, dropping chest piece emojis under her post, praising her for playing strategy while Rasheeda drowned. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was caught outside a restaurant in Buckhead. Hours later, paparazzi cameras flashed, fans shouted questions, and she looked broken, eyes red, cheeks wet, muttering no comment as she slid into the backseat of her SUV. That clip alone hit 1 million views before midnight. The contrast was brutal. Yandi, silent but powerful. Rasheeda speaking only through tears and silence. And then came the financial tease. Tasha K held up another folder of files, shaking them at the camera like a dealer holding winning cards. "Baby, this is the part they never wanted y'all to see." She laughed. "Court got the clean version. I got the director's cut." The chat exploded. She didn't drop the full financial documents yet, but she showed just enough to send speculation into overdrive. Spreadsheets with boutique sales, mysterious wire transfers, red circles highlighting missing funds. Fans began piecing it together in real time. Was Rasheeda funneling money to cover Kirk's debts? Was the boutique just a front? Twitter exploded with jokes. Pressed by the IRS, boutique, or bank account laundering. Every meme turned Rasheeda Empire into a punchline. What was supposed to be her brand, her crown jewel, was now the city's running gag. Kirk, never one to stay quiet, made it worse. He posted a gym selfie with the caption, "Angerty, don't lie. Don't believe everything you read." Instantly, fans clowned him. "Sir, not you talking about energy when you cheated on national TV," one user wrote. Another, "You broke loyalty before Instagram beef even existed. Sit this one out." His defense backfired so badly that Rasheeda's entire image suffered by association. Every time Kirk spoke, the internet remembered his scandals, his cheating, his long trail of broken trust. Instead of protecting her, he was dragging her deeper. And the fans weren't going to let him rewrite history. The city was on fire. Anonymous pages claimed insiders were leaking the rest of the flash drive. Bloggers were already editing Rasheeda voice into remixes. TikTok DJs were turning Keep It Low into beats. And Instagram fan pages were dissecting every DM. What Tasha had done was worse than any court verdict. She had given the people a story they could touch, hear, replay, and meme. The streets didn't need the judge's gavel. They already had their conviction. Rasheeda wasn't just losing a case. She was losing her identity, her boutique, her credibility, her entire image brick by brick. And just when fans thought the stream was ending, Tasha K leaned closer to the camera, holding the flash drive like a weapon. Her voice dropped low, calm, but dangerous. Y'all think this is bad? Part 2 of this drive, baby. It's going to send somebody straight to jail. The chat exploded. Fire emojis, screaming faces, question marks filled the screen. Bloggers rushed to Twitter with headlines. Tasha K hints at jail time receipts. Fans speculated nonstop. Was it about Kirk? Rasheeda? Someone in production? The cliffhanger was set and Atlanta braced for the next eruption. The weekend had barely cooled down from the first flash drive leak when Tasha K decided to up the ante. This time, she didn't tease. She dropped it like an atom bomb. Another live stream, another record-breaking audience. Only this time, instead of shaky screenshots or muffled voice notes, she came armed with a full breakdown of financial records. She leaned back in her chair, sipping wine, and grinned as she dragged a spreadsheet across the screen. "See, this is what happens when you try to silence the wrong one," she said. "Court got one version. I got the real one." The files showed numbers that didn't add up: his sales from Rasheeda Boutique that vanished into thin air, invoices with missing signatures, wire transfers to anonymous accounts, and highlighted in red, a transaction linked back to Kirk Frost's name. The internet froze for a second, then exploded. "Not the boutique funding Kirk's mess," one fan tweeted. Another captioned a meme of Kirk lifting weights. "Bro, training for court instead of the gym." Within an hour, Pressed by the IRS was trending and the boutique had become the punchline of Atlanta. Rasheeda tried to fight back. She posted a long caption on Instagram over a black background. "People can alter documents. People can fake screenshots. Don't believe everything you see. I stand on truth." But the timing was her biggest enemy. Fans weren't in the mood to listen. They remembered her silence when Yandy first exposed her. They remembered her lawsuit. And now they were hearing her voice in recordings, seeing her name in DMIs, and watching her boutique accounts get dissected line by line. Her post was flooded with laughing emojis, clown emojis, and comments like, "Sis, the numbers don't lie. Receipts don't lie. This not Fashion Nova promo. This is federal promo." Every attempt she made to shield herself only dug her deeper. Meanwhile, Kirk decided to double down as if his word could save the family brand. He went live from his car, sweating, rambling about energy, fake news, and loyalty. "Y'all got to stop believing these bloggers," he said. "Me and Rasheeda been solid. Ain't no fraud in our house. Energy don't lie." But the fans tore him apart in real time. Comments flew across the screen. "Sir, didn't you cheat on her in front of cameras? Your energy lied in 4K. Stop dragging Rasheeda down with you." His live was clipped, reposted, and memed before he even ended it. Within hours, Kirk had become a liability, the kind of man whose very presence made things worse. Even bloggers who once defended him admitted, every time he speaks, he buries Rasheeda deeper. And then came the twist nobody saw coming. Jasmine Washington's name surfaced in the leaked files. Among the boutique records, a series of payments had her initials, cryptically labeled under consulting fees. Fans instantly speculated. Was Rasheeda secretly paying Jasmine to keep her quiet about Kirk's other mess? Was this hush money disguised as business? The group chats lit up. Fan pages dissected every detail, and Jasmine herself started trending without even posting. When she finally did go live, she looked unbothered, sipping her drink and laughing. "I don't know what y'all talking about, but if somebody want to pay me, I'll take it," she joked. That one line set the internet ablaze. Memes flooded in. "Jasmine is ATL's best paid silence." Jasmine, holding monopoly money with the caption, "Consulting fees, LLC." What was meant to drag? Yandy had now dragged Jasmine back into the spotlight, giving the saga an entirely new villain or victim, depending on how fans spun it. But the fire didn't stop there. Another file from the flash drive allegedly showed Spice's name in a group chat where Rasheeda called her messy, always pretending neutral. Fans had already been dragging Spice into the loyalty war, but now she was directly tied to it. Spice, tired of being the quiet one, posted a furious video. "Let me tell you something. Don't put my name in your dirt when I've been nothing but respectful," she snapped. Her Jamaican accent cut sharp, her eyes blazing as she pointed straight at the camera. "If you want to talk loyalty, talk about the man you laying next to, not me. Leave me out your scandal." The video went instantly viral. Fans applauded her for defending herself. Blogs headlined it, "Spice finally breaks neutrality," and memes dubbed her the bone crusher, not the bone carrier. Rasheeda had managed to turn her feud with Yandy into a war that now dragged half the cast. Behind the scenes, VH1 producers were panicking and celebrating at the same time. The lawsuit, the leaks, the flash drive, it was all TV gold. But it was also spiraling into territory they couldn't control. Reunion teasers were supposed to air in weeks, but fans were already demanding answers. Bloggers whispered that production was considering reshoots, just to capture the fallout. Anonymous insiders claimed that the reunion taping had turned into a screaming match between Rasheeda and Yandy, with Spice storming off stage, and Kirk nearly being escorted out. Whether true or not, the rumors only fueled the frenzy. The streets didn't care if it was fact or fiction. The perception was enough. Rasheeda tried one last desperate move, a family photo shoot with Kirk and the kids captioned "family over everything," but the public wasn't buying it. Comments shredded her, "Sis, you laundering love now too? Don't hide behind the kids when the receipts are outside. This ain't family goals, this federal goals." Instead of sympathy, she got mockery. Meanwhile, Yandy stayed silent, posting a soft photo of her sipping tea with the caption, "When it's truth, you don't have to rush." That one line hit harder than any clapback Rasheeda could have written. It was subtle, it was shaded, and it painted Yandy once again as the calm strategist letting the streets do her dirty work. The city of Atlanta was consumed. Every podcast, every live, every blog had turned into a courtroom. The memes weren't just jokes anymore. They were narratives shaping how the world saw Rasheeda. Her lawsuit, which was supposed to protect her, had now become the weapon that destroyed her. And Tasha K, sitting comfortably with her wine glass, knew exactly what she had done. She leaned into the camera at the end of her live, smirking, and whispered, "And this ain't even half the drive. Y'all ready for part 3? The internet lost its mind. Fans screamed. She got more. Bloggers went into overdrive, and the cliffhanger was sealed. By the time Monday morning came, Atlanta wasn't just buzzing. It was boiling. The courthouse steps looked less like a legal venue and more like a red carpet event. News vans lined the streets. Bloggers held ring lights in their hands. And fans gathered like it was a reunion taping instead of a civil hearing. The chant had already begun before anyone stepped out of a car. Receipts don't lie. Receipts don't lie. The city wasn't waiting for a verdict. The people had already given one. When Rasheeda's SUV finally pulled up, the air turned electric. She stepped out in a tailored beige suit, oversized glasses covering tired eyes, trying to project power. But the fans weren't fooled. Phones went up. JERS rang out. "Sis looks like she dressed for court and funeral at the same time." One fan tweeted. Another shouted from the sidewalk, "Pressed boutique, about to be pressed in court." The optics were brutal. Moments later, Yandy arrived, and the contrast was devastating. She walked calmly in a cream blouse and jeans, hair pulled back in, a sleek ponytail, smiling softly as if the chaos around her was beneath her. No flashy entourage, no grand entrance, just quiet confidence. That image alone went viral. Rasheeda, armored and defensive. Yandy, simple and unbuttoned. The captions wrote themselves. One dressed for war. One dressed like she already won. Inside, the benches were packed, not just with the press, but with fans live-tweeting every move. Bloggers whispering into phones and cameras clicking like this was a movie premiere. Even the judge had to remind the room that this was a court of law, not a love and hip-hop reunion. But the reality was clear. This wasn't a trial. It was theater. When Rasheeda's lawyer rose to speak, he tried to steady the ship. "These documents being spread online are fake, manipulated, designed to damage my client's reputation. She has suffered emotional distress, financial harm, and relentless online harassment." His words floated heavy in the air, but the fans weren't convinced. They remembered the voice notes, the DMIs, the spreadsheets. They remembered her silence when the first accusation surfaced. Every word he spoke sounded hollow, like a script written too late. When Yandy's lawyer stood, the energy shifted, calm, steady, deliberate. "Truth is not defamation. Receipts don't lie. What my client shared was not an attack. It was clarity. If the plaintiff's reputation has suffered, it is because of her own words, her own silence, her own actions." The room erupted in whispers, and outside the chant began again. "Receipts don't lie. Receipts don't lie." Then came the exhibits. The blurred screenshots that started it all were now crystal clear, projected across the courtroom. One showed Rasheeda in a group chat with Jasmine, dismissing Yandy, "Sis, always playing victim. It's all for cameras." Gasps filled the room. The fans online exploded. Not her suing over defamation only to prove it herself. One tweet read, Then came the voice note, authenticated and loud through the courtroom speakers. Rasheeda voice, tired but sharp. "I'm tired of pretending for cameras." Silence fell heavy, and then the gallery erupted. Phones shaking, bloggers whispering updates. Outside, Twitter lit up with a new trending tag, #pretending for cameras. It was no longer just a feud. It was cultural commentary. A citywide chant that Rasheeda had been fake all along. Kirk, sitting behind Rasheeda, couldn't hide his face. Cameras caught him burying his head in his hands as the evidence played. That image alone became a meme. Not Kirk, realizing he should have stayed at the gym. One fan joked. Another posted, "Bro stressed like the one on trial." Every time he appeared, the internet dragged him back to his own scandals, his own betrayals. He had become a living reminder of why nobody trusted the Frost brand. Meanwhile, Rasheeda dabbed at her eyes with a tissue, her first crack of visible weakness. The cameras flashed, capturing the moment, but instead of sympathy, the public saw confirmation of her downfall. Memes poured in, sis crying in HD, tears can't wash receipts. And then Spice's name entered the courtroom. Another group chat projected on the screen showed Rasheeda allegedly saying, "Spice messy, always pretending neutral." Spice, who had already posted her fiery clapback days earlier, was no vindicator. Fans dragged Rasheeda for dragging Spice. And outside the courthouse, signs appeared, Team Spice, not silent. What had begun as Rasheeda versus Yandi had now spread into a war involving half the cast, and the public loved it. It wasn't just loyalty, it was betrayal, exposure, and survival. But the final blow didn't come from the courtroom. It came from Tasha K. As the judge wrapped up the day, announcing that evidence would be reviewed and a verdict delivered later, Tasha went live again. This time, she didn't wave the flash drive like a toy. She plugged it in with a dramatic pause and dropped one last line. "What y'all saw in court, that's nothing. Part 2 of this drive is federal. Somebody not just losing a reputation, they about to lose their freedom." The internet lost its mind. Speculation ran rampant. Was it Kirk? Was it Rasheeda? Was it production? Twitter threads turned into investigations. TikToks dissected every possibility, and fans screamed, "The flash drive about to send a TL to jail." Outside the courthouse, the chants were deafening. "Receipts don't lie." "Pretending for cameras?" Fans waved signs, bloggers shot videos, and Rasheeda ducked into her SUV, face hidden, tears streaking. Meanwhile, Yandi walked past the cameras with a soft smile, waving at Lee as if she hadn't just watched her enemy unravel. The image was cinematic, Rasheeda in retreat, Yandi in quiet victory, and Tasha K holding the city hostage with the promise of more. Atlanta wasn't just watching a feud, it was watching an empire crumble. And the streets knew deep down that the real war had only just begun.